Big tonight. And now, this special extended report. Radical Grenadian Catholic priest Father Paul remains defiant, and his congregants in full support, even after being suspended indefinitely from priestly duties by Bishop of St. George's Clyde Harvey.
So, words are powerful, but words can be very meaningless. So he talks about suspension, and look the reaction.
The announcement about Father Paul's suspension was read out in all Catholic churches in Grenada Sunday and by Bishop Harvey himself at the Holy Family RC Church in Riversally in Rural St. Patrick.
Father Paul has been suspended from all priestly ministry.
Bishop Harvey showed up at the service being conducted by Father Paul, sitting in the pew and at one point rejecting an invitation by the priest to join him in the sanctuary. The two, however, shook hands during a traditional part of the service where people exchanged greetings. At the end of the service, Bishop Harvey took to the altar to read out Father Paul's letter of suspension that met with jeers and tears by the parishioners.
What is wrong, Bishop, speaking the truth?
In the Catholic faith, do we have freedom of speech or not?
Do we respond again? Because it's obvious that I'm not getting through in some ways. Father Paul had been warned about his behavior, right? And he persisted in it, right? So therefore, I am left with a sense that this is not going to be corrected.
But today is a sad day in the life of Riversally Holy Family Church. And please remember, it's going to have repercussions.
Father Paul received the ire of the bishop in an instant rebuke at a Holy Week Mass a week and a half ago when he said the church was being complicit in the carnage in Gaza by remaining silent. The priest then did a series of media interviews on the matter subsequently and attended a march in support of Palestine on Friday, during which he called his bishop a hypocrite on the issue.
When we say the church and you hear with Jerry Dees and Jerry Dees and he condemn and he fighting, that's just the hierarchy and a fella called Clyde Harvey, who is the bishop in Grenada. These are the people, these hypocrites that make these noises and they pretend they are the church in Grenada. The grassroots people are firmly behind the Palestinian cause.
Bishop Harvey told the Riversally Church that his priest was being suspended, not because of the comments, but because of what he called a pattern of behavior. The congregation, almost in unison, was not accepting it.
It's real hard to take that.
The bishop made it clear that the priest was not being defrocked, just suspended, and still hoping the occasion would arise when he could be reinstated. But he suggested some of that will be completely dependent on the priest's behavior going forward. A defiant Father Paul, in an exclusive interview with Carib Update News, hinted that he will continue to defy the church's leadership.
Will you be here next Sunday?
I will be here. Where else will I be? I have been for 30 years every Sunday with a few exceptions in church, and long before that, since I was a child, I will be in church.
Preaching?
But doing whatever I have to do.
So what if another priest comes here next Sunday?
Well, like this one who came Sunday, he sit in the pew, he stay outside, he drive, he can't, he go home, or he come and sit in the sanctuary with me. That's all.
Bishop Harvey said until a permanent parish priest is decided on, there will be an arrangement to have the church service.
The dean, the priest who's in overall charge, will be responsible for making sure that there are services here, and I will have a hand in that as well.
But that might be easier said than done, as the people there seem to suggest that they will not be willing to either cooperate or attend Mass with an alternate priest.
You understand? So it's not like after today, that's the end of it. After today, this church is here, and the people will continue to come to church. I will continue to come to church, and we'll do what we have to do.
Bishop Harvey, scolded by the congregation for no prior consultation before announcing the suspension, acknowledges that given what has transpired, it will be a difficult road to keep the Riversally flock together.
Now we have to repair the hurt that people feel, That will not be easy. A lot depends on Father Paul himself. And I will do my best because I hear their pain. And as the bishop of the diocese, as a shepherd, I can't ignore the pain.
He said the people may have been misled on the church's position on the conflict in Gaza, the firestorm having started nearly 2 weeks ago when Father Paul chastised the church for, in his view, being silent on the carnage in Gaza.
The fact that the church is deeply involved in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Sudan. I mean, at one point, the Pope invited the Sudanese leaders to come to the Vatican to talk peace. So the church is deeply involved. But a lot of the congregation here seem to think, and I can guess the source, that the church is doing nothing. You know, the church is not standing up for justice, and that's sad.